Good morning, everyone. It's December the 14th, 2023. As you can see, my voice is not fully coming back, but I'm doing really well. It'll probably be another few days, which is normal because being diabetic, this is what happens when you have no immune system and you catch just a simple cold. It takes longer to get rid of, and it's a lot worse. But I wanted to thank my viewers who text me in and to see how I was doing, and I just wanted to let you know I'm doing great, I'm doing fine, and it'll be another few days. It usually takes about a week for my voice to fully clear, but I think I can speak enough, even though I'm still a bit hoarse today, because there's a lot to catch up on while I was sick last week. And as you can see by the title that I put down today, last week while I was sick, the police had two big busts, one in Toronto and one in Ottawa, and these were the drug busts, and there was a lot of drugs taken off the streets. Number one, the big packages were there. Number two, they also took off some guns off the streets as well, which was really good. And of course, there was all this cash, and I think one was like $100,000 in cash. And one of the big questions I have is when we see all these big busts being made, and there is the proceeds of crime, and of course, it can be luxury houses or vehicles or cash, whatever. I often wonder, well, I know the government gets this money because eventually, even if it's cars or boats, they get auctioned off. But my question is, where do they put all this money after they get this money? Where does it go in the coffers? Because the taxpayers are certainly paying for a lot from all these drug dealers that are literally bringing down our society with their criminal activities, and certainly making addicts out of many, many people who are definitely their victims. So for me, it's like, where does the money go? I like to follow the money trail, and I love to have some answers from politicians and that. What do they do with the money? Because for me, when I see $1,000 in cash lying there, I'm thinking, boy, what could I do with $100,000 when I'm on the poverty line? I could think of all the good I can do with it and help out some of my other relatives and stuff as well. And especially my grandchildren who are special needs, and they could use a bit of extra cash too. But what happens with all this money is a big question that I am asking. Where does it go? Where does the government put this money? Because it just seems to be to me, it looks like free money lying around. Does it go back into police enforcement, for example? Is this where they're getting the money so that the police can catch up with all these drugs and these dealers and stuff? I don't know. But I know one place that would be very good for that money to be put, and that would certainly be back into affordable housing and certainly supportive housing. Because what I've seen with the drugs and how it's devastating our society, and the addicts, they can't even look after themselves. They really need supportive housing and people there babysitting them and looking after them 24/7 so that they stay out of trouble, number one. And excuse me again. Like I said, you'll have to bear with me today. But I did want to put up a little bit of something today. But this is a big question that I have on my mind because we don't have enough housing. Is it possible to put all this money into the kitty to go back into helping to all this housing that we need? Why should the taxpayers take the burden for all these criminals running around and enjoying themselves while they're out of jail, for certain? And even I know the police get disgusted too, because of course they even manage to get the drugs into the jails too. So we have a really, really big problem. But I feel definitely that those that are causing this problem to our society, and I mean it's a huge problem, drug addiction and making victims out of people, that money should be put back into helping the victims again. Perhaps maybe they might start thinking twice, and it might also encourage our police departments as well to step up their reinforcement of getting the drugs off the streets as quickly as possible. Because I know I saw something on the CTV News this morning flashed across the street. Again, the RCMP has said something about more deadly fentanyl is coming out on the streets again in different places across Canada. So we really need to take a look at where our resources are going and how they can best be used. But it was certainly a thought on my part, is what can we do but that money? And whatever we get in cash, even for the cars or the houses or the boats or whatever luxury vehicles these criminals amass after a while, this money should be put back into the victims to see that they have what they need properly. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I also just want to give a brief update on, of course, as I've always said, that the camera is the best witness, and you've seen my camera of pictures of the building, how it looks after all the victims and the addicts come in and wreck the apartment buildings and that. And the cleaners didn't want to come in. Well, from what I'm understanding now, instead of 2 days a week, the cleaners are going to be coming in 7 days a week now to clean up the buildings after these guys. But again, why should the taxpayers have to pay for what they wreak havoc? They're right down at the bottom of the chain from the hierarchy of those dealing with the drugs and giving it out to the dealers and that, and making profit off these victims. And that's one thing I cannot stand, is when profit is being made off helpless people. And that's why I suggest let's get it put back into the housing. But the good news is that at least the cleaners are coming in now on a regular basis to help clean up the building. So in case of fire, we have a better chance of getting out, hopefully without tripping over people and things. And of course, if the cleaners come in, even during the daytime, they come in now and they try and sleep in the stairwells. So when the cleaners come in, even they call the security or the police, whoever they have to call, to get them out of the building. But it's overnight that is so dangerous. And a couple of days ago, I heard from one of the tenants that they were lucky they found someone who had overdosed in the stairwell and they were able to call for help. But chances are they would have found that party deceased in the morning. But that's another thing with the social housing. They are finding more people deceased in the stairwells and that, and wherever they're hiding within the buildings as well. Because now they don't have the outside to do their drugs and stuff because it's so cold right now. So this is where they're seeking refugees. Well, they're sort of refugees in their own sense, but the refugees against the cold. And but we must come up with a better solution to things. But one of my solutions is let's put the proceeds of crime towards good use and back onto helping out the victims and getting their addiction services and stuff that these people absolutely need to get them off the drugs. So I don't want to talk too long today to save my voice, but I just want to let everybody know I'm fine. It may take me a few more days to get rid of this huskiness out of my voice, because when I cough, to cough up that phlegm, being a diabetic, it makes it twice as bad. So it takes me longer to get my voice box back as well. So again, thank you for everyone for messaging me to make sure that I was all right. And everyone, be safe, take care, and make sure you be aware of your surroundings at all times. Okay, and we shall talk to you again shortly as soon as I get a little bit better again. Okay, and bye-bye. Take care, everyone.